Hello, everyone. My name is Clarissa Borges. I'm a senior developer here at Thoughtbot, and I work with Rails development and platform engineering here at Thoughtbot. And I also help maintain our open source platform engineering projects at Thoughtbot. And today we'll be pairing with Fernando.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fernando, development team lead at Thoughtbot, and I'm gonna work with Clarissa and some platform code that I have not seen before. I'm pretty much a beginner, so that's the main purpose of the series. How we as Rail developers can start contributing and understanding a little bit of the infrastructure work that we use every day. So let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Yeah, so today we'll be working, so as I said, we will be pairing on one of our Terraform modules. So we have a bunch of issues that we need to resolve in our Terraform module. So I chose one of the Terraform modules that we have an issue to resolve to work with Fernando. And so it's the first time ever that Fernando is going to run Terraform commands and Terraform things. We'll be using our internal Terraform project for that. So that's also exciting because you will get a sneak into what it looks like. So yeah. If you have any questions, if you're new to Terraform, if you have any like, if you'd like to know anything about how we do platform engineering at Thoughtbot, if you'd like to know anything about our infrastructure, feel free to drop a question in the comments. We'll be watching the comments here from our comments session here in our software. Yeah, so let's talk about infrastructure first. Fernando, do you have any experience with infrastructure and platform engineering? How's your background on that?
Yeah, I do have some experience, but it's pretty. I mean, I don't want to say that it's like out of fashion technologies, but it's the things that were very popular, like probably 10 or 15 years ago. I remember when Docker started, we were using Vagrant and virtual machines prior to Docker, and then we moved to Docker, and I get to play with Ansible. That's I think that's the newest thing that I tried, which it's not really very new. But yeah, related to modern stack and the state of the art for platform, definitely, yeah, I'm not familiar. I have some ideas on how it works, but I have not really done anything.
Right. So you don't have experience with Terraform.
Not really.
Okay. All right. So that's good. I will give some introduction about what is Terraform. If anyone is new here, and if you have any questions about Terraform, like what is like, we'll be looking into code here. So if you have any questions about syntax, feel free to drop in the chat, and you as well if you have any questions. We're here to learn together. So if your question might be someone else's question, and I'll be going like I won't like dive into anything very deep about Terraform, but I will just try to give an overview that's sufficient for us to complete our task. So it will be sufficient for you to run commands and for you to run changes in your own infrastructure if you need to. So what is Terraform? Terraform is a tool for doing infrastructure as code, and it's used to define and provision infrastructure resources. So you can define like a database, you can define a cluster, you can stand up anything in your infrastructure using Terraform. And the good thing about Terraform is that it enables efficient and repeatable infrastructure across your infrastructure management. So you can, like, for example, if you have multiple applications that use the same type of database, you can reuse that code and you can be consistent about how you're doing that. And it's also a great way for you to manage your infrastructure, like it can be, you can miss whatever you have in your infrastructure. You have to go through the UI of whatever cloud you're using, and you can like very easily forget about resources that you already have. And so it's an investment that pays off, even if you have a very simple infrastructure. It's very good to have Terraform involved because it will help you keep your infrastructure consistent and up to date, because once you have that stood up, that will be very easy for you to work on. So it's great. And also, it's a way for you to document your infrastructure. Like that was already implied by what I was already saying. Like if you want to check your infrastructure, check what you have in your infrastructure, or if you're onboarding to a new project, you can see the code, whatever is in your infrastructure, just in one place, which is great. And then the other good aspect about using Terraform is that if you focus on extracting repeatable parts of your Terraform code into reusable modules, then each time you're going to build something else or you're going to update your infrastructure, then that will be faster for you. And it will be easier for you to maintain your infrastructure. So most of our platform engineering projects that we have at Thoughtbot are Terraform modules and are open source. So we build them to like deploy complete infrastructures, and like all companies, they all have their own infrastructure modules, but we made ours open source so everyone can reuse them. Everyone can, like, if you would like to use our infrastructure modules, you can just, but you want to customize it, you can create your own fork and start from there. So it will be very handy for you if you want to use our infrastructure. I think if you used modules before or libraries in your life, you know the advantages of using Terraform modules. Any questions? Do you have any questions, Fernando?
No, I mean, I've heard about the term modules in Ansible, but I think it's similar. It's like a piece of software that helps me to, I could guess, to install something very concrete instead of me having to write everything from scratch. It just sets up the resources that I need, and that should be it. Is it right?
Yeah. You can basically import modules and reuse them, and like it's very handy for that. So it's basically reusable code that you can add to your infrastructure.
Perfect.
All right, so let's take a look at the code. Let's take a look at the code. I'm just learning how to share my screen, which is something that I seem to be learning every time. Okay.
Yeah, StreamYard might be tricky.
Yeah. Okay. Is that working? I think
Yep.
so. Awesome. I will zoom in a little bit so it's easier for people to see. I can't click. I think you stole my.
Oh, let me return that. No,
Okay.
I have the clicky thingy, so
Um.
I think you need to change that to. Are you typing?
No, I'm not typing. I'm just trying to resize my screen here.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Like I can't click anywhere on that screen that I'm shared.
That's weird.
Can you maybe?
Let me see if I can resize. I don't think I can. No. Oh yeah, I can now.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Let me
Like,
see. I don't know. Uh, or do we want to see the tree or do we want to see the code? Because maybe we can just make the font larger.
yeah, that's what I want to do. If you
Uh,
do command
Command.
plus,
Okay, let me see if that works.
yes, that
Yeah,
works.
it's working.
It's okay. Oh, okay, I can click now. So we're going to work on basically three projects. Let me share also my browser so we can take a look at the plans. Okay. All right. So let's look into the code that we are going to work first, and then I'll show you what's the issue that we are going to work on.
Mhm.
So we have here the code for our infrastructure, which has like the cluster information, our clusters details. It has ingress, monitoring modules, network, permissions, platform, and so these are all parts of our infrastructure. We'll be working on a particular part of the application, which is the applications module. So let me just take a look at the Terraform plan here for Sandbox.
So just for some context, I'm guessing that applications, it's the applications we have using our our repo where we have all our infrastructure.
Right. So we have inside each of those applications. Those are each one of the applications that we have here. Let me check the Terraform plan again.
Okay.
So we have Hub, which is our internal application that we use to manage our internal. It's our internal system.
Yeah.
Then we have MakeFriend, which is an internal application as well. We have thoughtbot.com and we have ParaMatchmaker. These
Okay.
are all individual applications that run inside of our Terraform, our infrastructure. Right. So let's look into the shape of one Terraform module, for example. I have
I have some questions. How is
yes.
Terraform different from, let's say, I know Ansible, so how is that different or how is that similar?
I haven't worked with Ansible before, but what I know is that Ansible is a little different. Like it's similar. Like I think is it declarative?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yep.
very similar. Like you use the same. Yeah, you use the same. It comes from the same premise of like describing infrastructure. I don't know how different it is from Terraform, but I know that they are very similar. I don't know, like I can't describe the differences
Okay.
exactly.
But we are using Terraform to manage the architecture. The I don't know what are we running this?
Yeah, let me show you, for example, our sandbox environment here.
Mhm.
So this is what our sandbox looks like.
Okay, okay.
We have, oh, wait, hold on. We have the staging module, which describes what we have on the staging environment for the particular application. So we have like Postgres, we have a description of Redis, we have the cluster name, which is used to describe where the application is. We have the secret that will be added to that infrastructure. We have GitHub branches that are allowed to deploy to that application. And we also have Elasticsearch,
Okay.
which is actually OpenSearch, not Elasticsearch.
Okay.
And then this is another description of a module. This is the description of this will create some configuration for the application. So it will create a role that will be able to deploy to, that will have permission to deploy changes to that particular application.
Okay.
And these are some local environments. I did prepare a little presentation here. Let me see if I can share it.
Yeah. So I mean, when I used Ansible, it was more. I remember that I had to manually create my server and then tell my Ansible playbooks like, "Hey, you're going to connect to this server, and then you're gonna install these packages or install Postgres." So this looks more like you're defining the infrastructure, because I saw some references to EC2 and other things.
Right.
So that looks, at least, I mean, I'm not a platform engineer, but that's the first thing that I see, that it's different. For this, I see that it's more about, because I see that there are like DB small and more things that sound more like, in this case, AWS. So in this one, sounds like you're doing more the platform, the instances or the services that you need. With Ansible, the way I use it is just I had to do those by hand and then just connect and provision the server. So that's one of the first differences that I see. But again, I don't know if it's possible to do with Ansible, but it sounds, it makes what I'm seeing, it kind of makes sense, and it seems familiar or similar to what I know from Ansible.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't used Ansible before. I know it was pretty popular some years ago. I don't know if that's very, like, I don't know if it's widely used at the moment. I think the most popular thing I've heard about recently was Terraform.
Yeah, I haven't heard about Ansible recently, but probably it's still a thing. But yeah, I've heard more about Terraform. And another question: I see a lot of references to AWS. Is Terraform specific to AWS, or can I use another cloud if I want?
No, it's not specific to AWS. And you can actually do a lot of things with Terraform. Like if you wanted to declare, I don't know, a folder structure in your own computer, you could do that using Terraform. You could, I think you could create Docker files using Terraform if you wanted to. Or you could even, I know that Heroku has a provider, a Terraform provider. And then, so I think you could use Terraform if you wanted to, for example, create your application on Heroku and like have your deployment configured through Terraform using infrastructure as code on Heroku. So that's, I don't know if it's like a well-maintained provider, but you could do that if you wanted to.
Oh, good to know. Yeah, because most of my clients are still running on Heroku, so I'm wondering how we can benefit from Terraform. Because yeah, the way you do things on Heroku, you go to the UI most of the time and you connect the services and just connect everything. So
yeah,
that's cool.
That's an interesting way to think about that, because Like, as much as I would recommend importing everything you have, like if you're on AWS, for example, to Terraform, because it's easier to manage and it's more well documented. It keeps your infrastructure consistent. As much as I would recommend doing that, I don't know if I would recommend like importing your Heroku setup,
Yeah,
because it's
sounds
already
overwhelming.
just so simple. Like
Mhm.
you don't need to. I don't know. I think it can be an overhead to do that.
Yeah, sounds might be overwhelming, but probably, but it's good
Yeah,
to know that it can be done.
yeah.
If you need it. Okay, good to know.
Maybe there isn't a good use for that. Like if you have multiple Heroku applications that you need to manage at once, then it might make sense for you to do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
But if you like have one application, 3 environments there, then
Yeah,
maybe
probably it's
maybe
not.
not. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Awesome. So let me share my presentation here. I prepared a presentation, like just a little presentation with Markdown. What is Terraform? I already explained. This is an example of a module that has a cluster. I was already showing some of that. I forgot I had the presentation before, but this is what the structure of a module looks like. So this will deploy a cluster using our flight deck AWS module. So this describes like specifics about the cluster. So I want my cluster to have that name. I want it to run on that version. And then also within that cluster, please create those node groups. This is what it looks like. And then this is the basic Terraform cycle. Once you have like you're creating your first module, or you were starting to use a module for the first time, you run Terraform in it, which will download the providers you need, the dependencies you need to run that. And then if you run a Terraform plan, you will see what your application is trying to do there, like what your changes are trying to do to your infrastructure. And then you will see whatever, like, what are your changes, how can I say that? You're going to see a plan for what Terraform is trying to do with your application. And then you can do a Terraform apply, which will commit those changes basically. And then once you, like, if you want to, you can run Terraform destroy, which will destroy everything that's described on that particular resource.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's my short presentation. I think that's why I forgot about it. It was too short.
Yeah, but that's
But
good enough.
Yeah, but I think that part is very useful.
Yeah, the graphics definitely are.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. All right. So the ticket that we are going to work on is this one, on the flight deck AWS application. So let me tell you another story from that module. So this module is a module that we created when we noticed that we had a lot of things in common shared across different applications. So that was what we called inside. Let me show you something on. So the first application we migrated to AWS was thoughtbot.com. And then it has, like, let me just check something here on the main, and then right. So we had the main application, the sandbox, for example, which has like staging. It has everything like you already saw on the other module. But then one thing that it has that the other module doesn't have is that state module, which has like every resource that we need to create for the application. So
Okay.
it has like the Postgres module, it has everything that Postgres needs, Redis, the deploy role. So we noticed that all the applications needed that as well. Like, and so we
Before you close that, I have a question. So, for example,
yes.
that part, let's say this one module Redis.
Mhm.
Are you defining a module, or you are using a module, right? Because it has a source.
No, yeah,
What is happening here?
we are defining a module,
Okay.
and that module uses a source. So it's
Okay.
like if you want, like, that's a good example actually. So Redis is a definition of the module that we are going to use from that source, which is one of the modules that we are going to work on. So we have that module here, and then whatever we're using here, it's coming from that module.
Okay.
So that's a good example. So this specifically isn't actually using yet the module. This alone won't create Redis. But if you look here on Sandbox, we are using that module's state here to create Redis. So it has the name of the instance. This is actually what is creating the Redis instance.
Got it.
So that's what we were doing. So we were using the state module to create, to have that everything, and the state module is shared across different environments. So Sandbox and production use that.
Okay.
And so we noticed that was used across many different applications. Like we noticed that in the infrastructures that we were building for clients also used a very similar state module that's what we called. So when we migrated Hub to AWS, we already also created that module, the Terraform Flight Deck AWS application module, which has everything that is on the state module, but it's its own module. So we don't have to have a state module here. We'll just do that. And that makes it a lot easier to upgrade things or to maintain, because whatever is changed here, we just need to change the tag here, the release tag here, and we'll get the updates on all of the applications.
That also reminds me a lot of GitHub Actions, when you're doing your config and then you just like, hey, I want the Ruby config, and then you just put the tag, and then that part is doing something that it's transparent for you, but you know that I have Ruby, the version that I need for my test or for my CI. So that looks very similar. So I think I get it now.
Yeah, it's very similar, and like the nature of reusing things is very similar as well.
Okay.
So yeah, this is our infrastructure, and these two are the modules that we are going to work on. So if we look here at the code for that module, this is open source. So if you want to check, you can check here the issue. I'll drop on the chat.
Yeah, I think I can put that one on a banner. No, I cannot. I don't have access, but can do that.
Let me share that here on the chat. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So this is the module that we're going to work on.
Okay.
I can go back. So when we were implementing, we use OpenSearch internally on our internal Hub application. So when we were deploying, we were adding support to OpenSearch. We added it here, but we also added it here. So the module definition for OpenSearch is on that module rather than on the correct AWS module that we expected.
So what it should be?
It should be, so instead of that, so for example, we have Postgres here. And then Postgres uses Terraform AWS databases, which is the module that it should be instead of. Because OpenSearch is a database, it should belong to the databases project instead of the state project.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to, the first thing we need to do here is to migrate that to the, migrate that definition to the AWS databases.
Okay.
And then we're going to use our internal infrastructure to see if that worked well or not, to test that change.
Okay,
because,
I got it.
Got it?
Yeah. Yeah, so we already have the change in Thoughtbot Infra.
No, we don't have that change.
We don't have. So are we using Elasticsearch yet there?
Yes, let me show you.
Yeah, I think I probably missed that.
Yes. So
yeah, I thought we already had the change there, and we're going to extract that change into.
We have that change there.
Okay.
It's there, and it was already imported to a separate module. So like this OpenSearch module, it started as a module that was running just inside the infrastructure module, the infrastructure code, and we extracted that into a reusable module. Which ended up being here instead of the AWS databases.
Oh, okay. So we should move that into the databases.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
I will stop sharing for a moment just to configure my terminal here.
Okay.
So we can start working.
Yeah. I'll read some questions from the chat. Well, we don't really have any questions. We have some people from Nepal and Brazil. Hey, hello, everybody. Okay, let me read the issue in the meantime. So, okay, yeah. The thing we have deployed OpenSearch to this repository to the flight deck AWS application instead of the database repository. Okay, I think it's something similar to when you write in your Rails application, like you build something inside the live directory, and now you want to extract that into a different repo or a gem, and then you just pull that. So the behavior should be the same, but you just want that part to be reusable.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. That's it.
Okay, great.
Thank you for explaining it better than me. But yeah, exactly. So what I'm reviewing here is that I wrote a little script to redact some private information of our infrastructure. So I'm just reviewing if that's doing that correctly before we start doing that, because I changed the script today.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's Jim Morrison. It's a friend wrote that one. It's like a pencil, so it's really cool. Yeah.
Good a pencil? What?
A pencil drawing.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, I mean, I'll keep doing questions because I have some. Is there like at which point you decide, okay, this is working, let's extract this into a shareable, like into our shareable module instead of like keeping that in the other one?
What's the point where we decide that?
Or it's just like, oh, we think that this can be reused by someone else and you share it.
Yeah, I think there are some things like that are very customizable that shouldn't be reusable, that you know that it's very particular to your own use. But in my experience, it feels like almost everything is is extractable into a module. Like we just decide how it's going to be reusable, and we
Mhm.
extract that into a module. So, like, if you look at the root modules for that, let's take a look at the. Okay, I just finished my
The
my
reduction.
review. Yeah,
Okay.
but um, hold on.
Mhm.
Let me show you an example of that. How that looks like
Okay. Let's see.
on flight deck. How do I share my screen again? Oh, okay, I found
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because we're
Oh,
using another tool to share screen also, so
yeah,
it's kind of we're sharing twice, one internal and
yeah.
one for you. So okay, let's see.
Let's take a look at flight deck, for example.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Can you
Let me.
make that font larger? 'Cause it's a
Yes.
bit small.
Is it good now?
I think it's better, but let's see.
Is it still small?
I mean, it's good enough for me, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are two faces at the
Right.
left side of the
Okay.
screen. But yeah, I think
That makes
that's better.
sense. I don't know if I can make us smaller. I don't know how to do that. So sorry.
No worries. That's good.
They're going to watch our faces very large. So, for example, this is the cluster module, which is one that on flight deck, which is very large. Like, take a look at that.
Okay.
So it has lots of those modules, a lot of those things, and then if you look here, we are also importing from other modules that are inside flight deck. So if you go into here, you're going to see a bunch of other modules.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you go to our code, let's
Okay.
look at our code. Cluster, sandbox, main.tf. So if you look at our cluster, you're going to see that this is the abstraction of everything that we saw
Mm-hmm.
on the on flight deck.
Mm-hmm.
So all you
Whoa.
have to do, like initially, if you were to do that from scratch, you would have to write all of that code that was on flight deck.
Okay.
But we learned what we needed to do for that, and we extracted all of that into a module. So next time we are creating a new cluster, we can just do that instead.
Okay. So I know what it is, but I'm gonna ask, what is flight deck?
Okay, flight deck is our open source platform engineering module that allows you to deploy complete infrastructure from scratch. And yeah, it has everything that we collected from years of experience and extracting modules into open source and reusable modules. So yeah, if you ever want to create your own infrastructure, you can by just following the AWS platform guide. What is flight deck? Hi, Mina.
Hello. And how much time do I save? Because I mean that's important. Because if I wanna, some people want to create everything from scratch, which might not be a good idea. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's say that I want to do that from scratch because I'm curious and I have time. But then
Mm-hmm.
if I use flight deck, what would be like?
Right. So if you use flight deck, you're probably going to like if you're deploying an infrastructure from scratch. I've heard of people deploying in like a similar infrastructure that we built, which is like built for um, running Kubernetes and
Mhm.
running with like a lot of security layers and yeah. So if you're building the same infrastructure, it can take you like 2 or 3 months. And with Flight
Oof.
Deck, we reduced that time to like a week or two.
That's definitely a lot.
So it saves a lot of time, and not to mention the time it saves you, like to get upgrades. If you need to upgrade your infrastructure, your Kubernetes version, you can just reuse what we have here.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it's awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, sounds that it saves a lot of time. So
Yes. All right. So let's get started. So let's try to do one thing. I told
oh
you,
yeah,
I was telling you that I wrote. Sorry, I didn't see your last question.
oh yeah, I also missed that one. Can you
Are
click
there?
on the question so it
Yes.
shows in the yeah that
Okay. Are there some kind of test that ensures the code written for infrastructure is correct? Yes, we have some like regular validations on the infrastructure that will tell you that the infrastructure is valid, the code is valid, and it looks correct. We have a GitHub workflow that also, let me show that. So we have workflows for each one of the modules.
whoa.
And then if you look into the Terraform workflow, it will set up Terraform. It will do a format check to see if it looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
It will run Terraform in it, and it will run Terraform validate. So it will validate the infrastructure code. And then it will run a Terraform plan, which is already something that tests if your application, if your Terraform code, like it will show you your plan if it looks good for a Terraform plan. If it fails, then it means that you need to change anything on your plan. But this is not a guarantee that your code looks good, because it may have issues when applying the changes. So Flight Deck has acceptance tests on the code, which it basically, let me show the GitHub workflow for that. It will, every month it runs an acceptance test to see if the modules are working correctly. So we have like a sample cluster, which runs Terraform apply on each on one of the modules to see if everything is working correctly. Is the see, he has another question.
Yeah.
Is the .tf file executed by the GitHub workflow? Yes. We have a GitHub workflow that executes the apply for each one of the modules. So it does, like, it creates a plan, it shows a plan, and once we merge the pull request, it will apply the changes automatically for you, so you don't have to run apply locally. The good thing about that is you will not have issues with if you're working together with a group of people, of developers, and you're changing things on the same module as the other person, then if you're using Git to direct that work and you merge your changes to the main branch, then your changes are applied linearly, and you can use Git to ensure Git versioning to ensure that your code doesn't conflict with the other code. What happens frequently when you're maintaining Terraform locally and you're running Terraform apply locally is you may forget to push your changes to GitHub. And so you are the only person that has the updated version of the code, and someone else wants to work on that code and like they don't have the most updated version of that code, and you may override changes that were made. So we highly recommend not doing Terraform apply locally unless like you really need it. But it's very similar to like doing that would be equivalent to like, oh, I'm working on a branch here on my Rails code. I'm working on a branch here. Oh, and I want my change in production. And you just push that to production without merging to main. And then no one has that change. You're the only one that has that change. So it can be very dangerous to do that. So we highly recommend managing that using GitHub and not sticking to running Terraform locally.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So let's go back to the change we're gonna do.
Awesome. All right. So just as a recap, we are working on a GitHub issue. Did we share that on the chat? Oh, okay. Yeah. So we are working on that issue, which is to a maintenance issue to move our Elasticsearch or OpenSearch module from one repository to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you drive that, Fer, but I will let you.
Ooh. Okay.
So that's what I was about to say, and I had questions to answer. So I wrote a script that will do. That script will redact some private information about our infrastructure because this is our real infrastructure and we don't want to leak information by accident. So since I wrote that script like today, I want to run that script and review the output before I show that on the screen.
Yep.
So yes, let's look into that. So the first thing I wanted to do was to just show you what Terraform plan looks like if it doesn't have any changes. So I will do that here on my terminal, and I will show my terminal on the main screen once I do that.
Yeah, so it is, well, once it's safe to share, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's running. It's taking a while to run.
Okay. Can I explore the?
Yeah, sure.
In the meantime?
No, please. Wait.
Okay. Okay. I'm only pointing at things. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing here is that
or if you wanna lead the movement of the screen and everything, because I don't know what we cannot show, and I can.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because otherwise, I don't know what it's sensitive and what it's not. So.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
All right, so that's the Terraform plan. Okay. It says no changes because we didn't change anything on there. But let's try to change something there just to see a Terraform plan. What do you want to change?
I don't know. What is like something that should not be like a big deal? Let me see.
We don't need to apply the changes. We're actually.
Oh, you want to see the plan? Okay.
Yes,
let's see the instance class for Postgres. Maybe one like a, I don't know. Maybe we have medium, DB4G medium.
All right. So I'll run Terraform plan here.
Okay, once that's done, if you can show us how we run that, just in a safe way. So you have like a command line tool for Terraform, or how do you?
Yeah. Normally, if we had like a toy project, we could show everything that we are doing. I can show you like the I can show you the command. So for the next live streams, we can prepare a dummy project.
Mhm.
But what I did was I ran tf plan here,
Okay.
but then because it's my script, but if I'm not using my script, I would just run Terraform plan.
Plan. Okay, so that's
Yes.
the Terraform command line. Okay,
Yes.
and then
So. Mhm.
what's happening? It's connecting to what? To staging, I guess, based on
Yeah,
the
this
news.
is Sandbox. So this is the Sandbox account
Hmm.
we have on AWS. We have multiple accounts that we use instead of having like one account for all of our infrastructure. We have
Hmm.
multiple accounts, and we do that. We have one for staging, which is Sandbox,
Okay.
and everything that's non-production goes into that account. So if we wanted to have like a demo environment, we would throw that into
So,
the Sandbox account.
okay.
Um, um, okay. So this is the Terraform plan. It shows a bunch of diffs that will upgrade because of the change that we try to do, which is the change to
Mhm.
the Postgres instance.
Mhm.
One thing that is interesting is
Yes.
it changes like a lot of things
Yeah,
because
that's what I was gonna mention because we only changed one line about the size
Mhm.
of the Postgres instance, but it's doing. I thought it's like 8 or I don't know how many changes. I think there was a summary, right?
Yes. So in the end, for this particular module, it will try to change a lot of things because we have a lot of dependencies across
Mm.
each different module, and Terraform doesn't know what it's going to change on that module, and sometimes it tries to update a module that is dependent on the other because of that.
Mhm.
So that's why the diff is large when they try to change something on Postgres, because it has a lot of dependencies and it has a bunch of modules that depend on each other. For example, when you create a Postgres instance, you're going to have a secret associated with it. You're going to have a secret rotation associated with it,
Mhm.
which is something that rotates Postgres secrets every, I don't know, every week. I don't recall
Mhm.
what we use for rotation. So it tries to change a bunch of things,
Okay.
and it may effectively change those things um, based on the change that we are doing. So
Mhm. Okay.
that's why. Um,
Yeah, just
so
that one change is doing a lot.
exactly.
But yeah, if we were doing this using AWS UI, we probably have to do like more than one, but just changing the size. If we have
Yeah.
this setup.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things that is very interesting is that like on AWS, like if you were to change anything through the UI and you needed to change something that depends on the other, you would some things would could happen automatically, but others you'd probably need to do manually. So that's another advantage of using Terraform.
Yeah, yeah, because I remember like five, no, like probably 7 years ago, we were migrating some apps from Linode to Azure, and it was painful because we didn't have any infrastructure as code, so we have to get into Linode and check everything, and then try to replicate that on Azure. And there were some very tricky things about Redis. I recall that some instance variables and some flags that it took us probably like 1 week to find like, oh, that this setup is different. But if we had infrastructure as code, probably that could have been very easy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and like also for migrating infrastructure, like if you're migrating from AWS to Google Cloud, for example, you could like they are not equivalent. Like if you had to do that, you would
Like
probably
101.
need to, yeah, you'd probably need to do a bunch of things to do that. But that would be way easier if you had your like your infrastructure documented.
Hmm.
So that would be great.
Yep. Sounds useful.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I changed it back and I confirmed that our Terraform plan is clean now.
Hmm.
So we can start with the,
With the extraction.
yes. Um, so our goal is to extract OpenSearch, which is
Hmm.
under these folders, under this module here to here. To these
To
other,
the
each
other
one of these, yeah, each one of these, in case this is not clear, each one of these folders are just different
report.
repositories.
Okay.
So for example, okay, so how would you think about starting it?
Okay, I could read what is the module. I could take a look at the module.
Mm-hmm.
Again, since I'm not familiar with this, I would like to understand what's going on. That's the
Right.
first thing that I could do. And
Mm-hmm.
then probably I could copy paste a lot of things into the repo and then do
Uh-huh.
changes. But yeah, how can we start reading? Because I mean, this looks overwhelming. I see some tries, I see some
Yeah.
dynamic, but I don't know what is that. So
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point because I don't, like, up until today I don't read the modules like entirely when
mm,
I'm doing things anymore. Like I just when I'm building a module that is based on an existing module, Terraform module, I just look into the documentation on
okay.
Terraform
Hmm.
and I do that. For example, this particular module, we didn't create it. We created like a fork, not exactly a fork because it's a separate repo, but we
Okay.
created it based on a community module,
Okay. Okay.
and then we modified it for whatever we wanted to.
Okay. So maybe understanding this, it's gonna be take a lot of time.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's yeah. If you're already using that module, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I would worry more about how we are using it
okay,
instead.
that's a good point. So
Mm-hmm.
then the next thing that I could do is go to the Terraform databases
Mm-hmm.
and see the structure because I don't know if it's okay. So we have one folder per resource. I don't know if that's the right name, but
Yes, yes, that's
so we
correct.
have to create an open search folder.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, can we open one? I want to see what files we need. I don't know if it's
Yes,
exactly a 101 or maybe we have
yeah,
more things.
yeah.
So we have a README that I guess that's how to use the module.
No,
Or what
it
is
should be, but it's not.
okay?
It's
Uh,
this one is like just a description of the module, but I think each
okay.
individual module has its description. So, for
Okay. Okay.
example, the primary instance, let me
Mhm.
put that here.
Okay, that's better.
It has
Right
like each
now.
the documentation for the module.
Okay. How to use it? What are okay?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I don't know. Let's start with the folder. I mean that I think that's for
Yeah.
sure that we
Yeah.
need a
That's that great. That's a great start. Yeah.
so it's gonna be called open search.
Do you want me to create it?
Yeah, let me see if I can do that.
Okay.
I don't see if I have a lot of lag. And I'm not really familiar with VS Code, so I'm hold on. I'm not even choosing the right interaction. Is it this one? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's this one.
Yes,
So let's go here and create a folder called Open Search. I don't know if it's like doing either hyphen or something, but okay, that makes sense.
that's promising already.
Okay, and then we can go back to the to what we're extracting. So we have more, and then we have for this one we have way less things. We only have main,
Hmm.
and we have outputs, and then we have variables. But
Hmm.
for the others, have more things. Is
Yes.
something that we have to worry about, or
Yeah, normally, so the main file is like the actual code for the resource.
hmm
And then outputs is what you get from the module. So you get access,
okay,
like you're able to access, like, oh, I need a domain ID for my open source
Mm,
instance. Then you could use that. That's coming out of that module. And then variables is what you normally use to customize your the behavior of the module. So, for
mm,
example, you can define your application name.
mhm,
You can define tags, advanced options. Like you can customize your particular
okay,
instance based on that.
okay.
And then what happens is like let's see.
Oh, I see the files. I see the files now. Main outputs and variables for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because this one only has this because we only like needed that,
Mhm,
but like if we wanted to, we could like break this down into multiple other modules and have
mhm.
folders inside here. But we can start with something similar to what this one is,
Okay, so then I think I could copy and paste
the
the
content.
files.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the names match, so I mean I
Yeah.
haven't seen the contents, but that could be. So yeah, those three.
Do you want me to do it? I will do it because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
copying and pasting through tuple is tricky.
yeah, and I
Okay.
and I have some lag, so I don't know if.
Yes.
Okay, so we have that. So
Mm-hmm.
in theory, well, I mean my next step again, I'm not an expert in this, but I would try to use that. I mean, if I see this as a code and I'm extracting the code into another folder, the code should behave have the same behavior, and I just need to point my original from our app instead of using the modules open search. I somehow would make it point to this thing. I don't know how to do that, but I would try that again. I'm
Yeah.
seeing this as a code for me. It's code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
I'm just
code.
moving so I'm moving just the folder. So if it's Ruby, I would
Yeah.
choose the require just to point to the new pattern. Everything should work the same.
Right. Yeah, yeah. You're right. We can use, so like if you look at let me see
Mhm.
an example. Okay, so if you look here, you can see that it's not referencing a GitHub link, it's referencing a relative path. So you can
Okay.
do that here to
Okay.
test
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask because we don't want to publish this because we don't know
until
if
we
it's
know.
working.
Yeah.
So we can do that. We can just change the source to Terraform, AWS databases, and then open search, and that should
Mm-hmm.
be enough. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's enough to see.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
let's try that. Let's go back
All right. So we have
to the app, right? To the infra, or
yes. Let's go to infra.
yeah.
So that's one thing. Infra. I think I would start doing that on the, because if you look here, like this is the open search
Mhm.
module. Let me show you an example. So we have RDS Postgres, for example.
Okay.
And then if we look at the flight deck AWS applications module,
hmm
we have
Oh.
postgres.tf here, which is
Mm.
the definition for Postgres
Mm-hmm.
itself, which actually is the part that uses the.
Okay.
So I would start by changing the OpenSearch one here
So
first.
instead of pointing to, well, it's not pointing to anything because it's there.
It's pointing,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
it's
there,
pointing,
modules.
right. So
So
instead
we
of
have.
pointing to
Mhm.
that, we would change that to the relative path of the
Sort of
Terraform flight deck, blah, blah, blah.
databases.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that was a long name and I did not
uh-huh.
remember.
Terraform. What is that?
I saw some autocomplete, but now it's not working, so I don't know if.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
there.
So it
Is
should
that the
be
fourth one? Yeah.
awesome.
Okay. And then
Let me just check if there are any other references. There aren't. So that's okay now.
so now we can do Terraform, the TF command that you did.
Not yet, because
Or not
we
yet.
also need to change that on the application.
Oh yeah, that's true. We're changing that on the AWS flight,
Mm-hmm.
not in the infra. So now let's point that to the local ref,
Mm-hmm.
or how do you do that?
Yes.
The
Yes.
same.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because we're changing one module that is used by other module that
Okay.
we are using. So
Okay, that's a little
uh,
exception. But it's cool that you can point to local because sometimes
yeah,
that's kind of hard.
yeah, that's super helpful too.
But it should be the flight deck one, right? Not the
Yes.
AWS
Yes.
basis. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So it should be Terraform. Oh no, where is the
but it's
autocomplete?
not completing.
Let me start again to see if it will help me again.
Yeah, I know it's. Oh, maybe if you scroll down, it's more
Terraform
ingress there,
flight deck AWS application. Okay.
and then should we specify the module? No, right? Just
No, it should be fine.
okay. Good. So now this is pointing to our local version of flight deck AWS application, and that one is pointing to the open search module that we just copied and paste.
Right. So in that case, since we changed the source module, we will have to run Terraform in it again. So I'm
Okay.
doing that here.
Okay.
So it reloads the dependencies.
If we forget to do that, we won't get an error, or will we? Because
Yeah,
we
we
were
will get an error.
okay.
It will say like, I can't remember what it will say, but it will complain.
Okay.
It will say like, oh, your sources changed it. You need to initialize Terraform again.
Okay.
All right, so I initialized that, and it's just loading everything.
Mhm.
So I'll run Terraform plan now, and I expect the Terraform plan to come out clean.
Because we don't really have changes. We only change the source,
Right.
but
Mhm.
it should be doing the same. But I don't think it's gonna be as easy. So there might be some references that or something else that we need to change. I'm guessing, but who knows?
It might be.
Yeah, because what I don't know is when we're using this directly, I don't know if we're referencing some part of the application directly. I mean
Mhm.
that's might not be a good practice, but I don't know if we're doing that.
Mhm.
So let's see how the
Awesome.
Terraform
Okay.
plan
So
can.
it worked. Yeah.
Is it green?
Yeah. No changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration.
Okay, so that's good. So then
Yeah,
what?
that's awesome. Let me see if we need to change anything else here.
Yeah, because I'm guessing that maybe we.
Uh, no, I think it should be. So one of the things that to notice is that um, yeah, that looks correct.
Mhm.
Um, OpenSearch. And then OpenSearch also has the variables here. So that should be it, actually.
Okay. There's another file. Can we scroll down in the tree? Because there was one called
Yes,
open the variables one.
the variables.
That one. Do we need to do a change? No, right?
No,
Because
we don't need to, because that's like the variables interface that is going to that we are using on our infrastructure to
okay.
configure that OpenSearch file here.
Okay, got it. So
So
how can we test this? I think that's related to one of the questions. How do we know that what we did it's working?
um, since we tested this, like we already had that module installed, so we know it's working because in this case our Terraform plan came out clean. So that means that the changes we made match exactly what was already there. So that's how we know. But if we are maintaining a module, let's say I did want some behavior change here on my Terraform on OpenSearch. Let's change something here to just to let's make up something here. Let's see.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I changed it recently on this module. Let me see where it was. That was on the
The SAML SAML thing.
Out of tune is one thing that is enabled on larger tier instances, which I think it's like some kind of optimization on OpenSearch. So this is something that I changed it recently. Let me try to change it. Back. So enabled. This is on the open source version of it. So by default, it will try to enable auto-tune. So if I wanted to do that, I would try to do a Terraform plan.
We would have a change or more than one change, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
It will fail because in this particular case, OpenSearch requires you to be above a certain tier to use that feature, and we're not on that tier, so it will probably like say, oh, you need to be on a different tier to use that functionality.
Pay more money to use that.
Yeah, I'm running Terraform plan here.
Let's see.
Again. Oh, and that's something. Oh, okay, that's here. So that's what it wanted to change. So it says it wanted to change. It would fail on the apply then.
Okay.
So it tries to change. It says this will be red during apply. And then this will be updated in place.
So it's. I saw something, about the. It's
trying to change. Okay, this auto tune, yeah. So the module will be the OpenSearch module will be updated in place, and it's going to change that option from disabled to enabled. And that's one good example of something that I know that it would fail if we try to apply, because we can't use that on the tier that we are on. I can even try to run a Terraform apply here. Let me try that.
But we can. My guess is that we can put some code to catch that. I mean, for this is like we know that, but if I were to use your infra code, I don't know that, and I just like, oh, I can do this change, but when I run, I'm almost I see that this is going to be a GitHub issue that someone raises, like, hey, can I do this? And I don't know why. But we could somehow put code, right? I'm guessing, like, hey, if you want to do this desired state to true should or to enable should be you can only do this if you're passing this, because you're also setting the version, well, the size, I think. So it's something that can be done, or it's something that needs to fail on AWSI to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will fail on the Terraform apply change, so it doesn't really like have like you don't we won't have an issue with that like without having that feedback. This
Mhm.
is something that we normally test every time we change anything on our modules. We test that internally before we publish that
Mhm.
on those modules. But there are things that could be incompatible with your own infrastructure. For example, autotune is something that I didn't know that wasn't available for the tier that we wanted to use.
Mhm.
And our Terraform module enabled that by default. So when I was changing our OpenSearch tier to a lower tier, it failed. The Terraform apply failed, but I
Mhm.
could see that, so I just made the changes that I had to
Okay.
do. So let me show you the output. I'm putting it very small because there are
Mhm.
some
More things.
information. Yeah,
Oh, it
but
says there, yeah, that it's not supported.
mhm.
Oh well, the error is very clear, so okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very clear. It depends on the API. Like there are some API responses for these Terraform modules that could be like very not clarifying.
Mm.
So yeah,
Okay, yeah, but this one is clear, so we know that
yeah.
a either move to a larger instance or disable the auto-tune. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
That's a good
So I
example.
think we can create the pull requests um to merge that to resolve the issue.
And also, do we want to create a PR for the apps to remove the module from? Because now we're using. Oh no, hold on. No,
Oh
we need to
yeah.
release first. So yeah, we need to do
No,
like a
we
step
can
step,
delete
right?
that. We can delete that. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah, but
we'll have to do that sequentially. Like
exactly.
first that,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
yeah,
First, we have to get. Okay, let me see if I get this correct. First, we need to get that PR on the database repo.
right.
And once that one is merged, we go to applications and we change the source to the new version that has the open source. And
Exactly.
then once that merge, we go to app and then we change that the source
Right.
to. But it has to be sequential because they depend on each other.
Exactly.
Okay, good. I got it.
I'm going to Git up now, and let's go to Terraform AWS databases. I'm creating a branch. Uh, create import. Create open. Oh, let me share that. I can actually share that.
Mhm.
Create git comment minus create open search module. Right. So one thing that I was also thinking was about changing some variables names, because we are using OpenSearch, but
Mhm.
it's the name of the variables we're
Oh,
using is Elasticsearch, which isn't like quite
yeah.
accurate. So I think we could change that too. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, I'm kind of remember what was the issue with Elastic. If I recall correctly, I think they changed the license at some version, and then someone did a fork of the older version. But I don't know if they have merged back, as it was the case with, let's say, Node when they also do a fork
Mm-hmm.
and then So I don't know. Do we want? Are there good reasons for people to install Elasticsearch like prior to that version, or do we want like no? If you use this, OpenSearch is the option that we support, and we don't want you to provide more things for, because I mean it's pretty much, it's probably our opinions, because for example we use Postgres for most of our Rails projects, but someone can say why not MariaDB or other like SQL alternative. So
Mm-hmm.
for this
Yeah.
case I think would be, i don't I don't know if we have good options to keep both, but I could go that probably moving everything to open search instead of Elasticsearch. That would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I don't know actually, like, the preferences around that. I know that we picked the OpenSearch um, instance instead of Elasticsearch because it
Mhm,
was the most convenient option for us on AWS at that
mhm.
time. So we that's why we went for that. And this particular module doesn't offer you the option to deploy an Elasticsearch instance. It's
Elastic.
just
Oh,
OpenSearch. So I think it doesn't make sense to mention Elasticsearch there.
Elasticsearch. Yeah, yeah. It's confusing if we use Elasticsearch inside.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of remember that issue. I mean, I'm just reading quickly that they changed that.
Yeah, I think it's possible this module actually. Let's look into the module itself because the
You're
module name is Elasticsearch, so I might be wrong about that.
Oh, but that was updated 5 years ago, also. But oh, you mean, or
Yeah.
you mean or you mean this? No, the service in AWS, it's called Open.
Oh, the service is open source, so it got replaced, right?
Okay, yeah, then probably we should use same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Like, yeah, pretty much to say like it's. Do you want to use Open JDK or JDK
Oh,
for
you're
Oracle?
probably, yeah. We
Oh,
have we
oh,
have that, yeah.
okay.
O- Open JDK instead of
JDK.
Elasticsearch.
Yeah, the no, the I remember that when for Java it's similar. Like some people need to use the Java the development kit from Oracle, and you have to pay a license. But some people it's fine using Open JDK.
Oh, got it. Mm-hmm.
So it's probably there might be some people who have good reasons to use Elasticsearch and pay for licenses, and but
Mm-hmm.
for our case, probably Elasticsearch is it's good enough.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we can look into the variables and see,
Yeah, see
like,
what we're using.
um,
Uh, search secrets. Oh, because we have another module that still says Elasticsearch. So probably that's
yeah,
another PR, right?
yeah. I
If we
think we
want to
can.
rename everything.
Mm, yeah, I think what we can do is just um, let's see what happens if we change that
Hmm.
specific module to
Okay.
uh, that specific value to, instead of Elasticsearch, OpenSearch. Let's see what our Terraform plan thinks about that.
Hmm.
OpenSearch secret.
Okay.
So let me go back to my Terraform plan.
Hmm.
Should have had that on a separate terminal so it's easier.
Yeah, no worries.
um,
Yeah, I'm reading more about Terraform, and yeah, it's by
Mm-hmm.
HashiCorp, which I think is the same that they were doing Vagrant, if I recall correctly. It's the same company.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's written in Go. Oh, interesting.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to log in uh to my Terraform execution profile on AWS. Hold on.
Okay.
Because I opened another terminal, so I had to do that again. Okay, Terraform plan.
Yeah, and also see that there's a provider for Heroku,
Mm-hmm.
supported by Heroku. I'm curious. I probably want to use that just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Maybe it's less overwhelming that playing around with AWS. So.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
Mm.
now if I change the name of the module, the Terraform actually didn't quite like that.
Oh, why? Is
Uh,
there an
like
error?
not that it didn't like it, but it is thinking that it wants to like
Oh,
so it says 8 to add and 8 to destroy, which means it wants to replace,
mm.
which a replacement basically is like destroy and recreate. So we
Mm.
don't want to do that, so I won't touch the name of
Okay.
the secret. But we could try that with the variables. Let's see what
Mm.
happens with the variables. So if we look back on our sandbox module, we can see that it has like Elasticsearch enabled ES application name, ES engine version, and ES dedicated master
Mm.
type. So we can change that to OpenSearch.
Yeah, because the other one is gonna be OS, but I don't know if that's confusing with operative system.
We could put
And it's OpenSearch, right?
OpenSearch.
Yeah, that's a better
Yeah,
name.
I don't have a
Yeah,
problem with.
extra typing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can do a Terraform format,
Mm.
which will adjust that. And then it's like very mad that we are using a variable that isn't available on the module, so we can
Oh,
go.
okay. We'll go to that and change the variable
Yeah, so OpenSearch variables, we change it
ES to
that
OpenSearch.
to OpenSearch.
Okay.
Oops, can't type. OpenSearch, 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 OpenSearch. We changed less of those things, and like then we're not using all of them,
Yeah,
but we
exactly.
have.
Because there's this one,
Mhm.
the ES EVS IOPS.
Yeah, it has default, so we're not customizing those things. We are
Mm.
just using default.
Okay.
Elasticsearch engine version.
Awesome.
Elasticsearch. Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot.
We can. Let me be smart about that.
Mhm.
Now that I'm being smart about that, it doesn't have any other. Okay, and then
The enable
Elasticsearch
one.
enabled, and then we have to change that here. So instead of Elasticsearch enabled, it will be
Opens.
OpenSearch enabled, and then we can do a search here and replace
Oh yeah.
ES. And then if we want to be specific about the variables, we can
Word doc.
search like that to make sure we don't Nice. Okay.
Okay.
So it's happy again.
Yeah. Can you go? Can we go back to the other file?
This file?
To the yeah, because I think on this one, if you scroll down a little bit, I think we might have some. I don't remember if was
It
this.
was on the infrastructure file
Yeah, I
or
think
the open search?
I don't remember, but there was some mentions about not in the code but in comments about that. It still says Elasticsearch, but it was not the variables. It was somewhere else. But I don't remember where I saw that.
Yeah. Open
I don't know if they were
search.
this one, probably that file. There were, for
Oh,
example,
okay.
yeah. So we might have some instances of Elasticsearch
Open search.
as part of the description.
Yeah, let's
So we
search
might have
for
more.
Elastic.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. We can replace probably Elastic for Open, but I don't know if that's reasonable.
Yeah, that would be smarter.
Yeah.
I think we okay. I think we changed everything,
Okay. Looks good.
and then let's try again. Terraform init and Terraform plan
Mhm.
to see if the variable change will not be well accepted for by our code. Oh, I forgot to do a Terraform init. Hold on.
Mhm.
Whenever you change something like variables, you have to do a Terraform init again.
Okay.
Terraform plan. Did we revert the no? Just in case. Okay, this reference.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. So it seems we didn't update a few of the references, so we have to go back to the.
Elasticsearch.
Yes, we have to go back to the Terraform flight deck applications. Oops, what? Sorry.
Is there maybe another file that it's using Elasticsearch?
Yes.
Oh, that one. That one is also.
Let's try to search for that.
Yeah.
Oops, I copied the entire file. It's so hard to work with that level of zoom.
Yeah, you can somehow a little bit. I think that's probably fine.
I think it's fine.
I mean, for me, it's good because I don't have like eyesight, but
yeah.
so let's see. So in theory, now we change of them.
Yeah. Let's try again.
Okay.
So it happened with 2 instances of that, so I think we should be good now.
Okay.
Okay, and it ran plan. Okay, so I got another error here, which says module.opensearch secret is undeclared, and then this one was because we changed that. If you, I don't know if you remember, the module. Yeah.
That one we are going. We said that we were going to keep that one as Elasticsearch for now.
Yeah. Let me do a search here.
So it should be open.
What?
Yeah, OpenSearch _ secret. I don't know if module or Yeah,
I'm surprised that it didn't find
finally,
anything. Yeah.
maybe in
Hmm.
another file.
Let me zoom out a little bit.
Yep.
Is it still good?
Kinda. Could be better, but
I
it's good.
will.
I can
I'll
see
just
enough.
okay. So
Yeah, I'm more worried about people looking at the stream because
yeah, I will. I'll zoom in again in a
Okay.
bit. So the issue is on that file
Hmm,
and
I
line
don't see
83.
it. Oh, there. Those
Oh,
three
it's
were.
why is it saying reference to an undeclared module? I'm like I didn't
Oh,
change that.
yeah. Is there
It's
any other? Do we need to do init?
I did.
Hmm.
Let me try again.
Yeah, because it's safe, and I don't remember any other instance of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Terraform init. Let me try Terraform plan. Okay, now it worked. I think I don't know what happened with the Terraform init, but
Okay,
it
good.
worked now. So okay, we have the changes we wanted to do.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the diff.
The diff.
It doesn't have anything. Oh, it doesn't have anything
No
because it's just
files.
creating. Yeah.
Yeah.
So um, what's your name on GitHub
Fer Perales. Everything together.
and your email?
Fer at thoughtbot.com.
Awesome. All right. One other thing that we could do is go inside that module, the OpenSearch module, and run Terraform docs.
What is that for?
It is used to generate. Oops, I ran that. It is run to generate documentation for the module. So, for example, if you look at this,
Oh, it has like
not this one, but the Postgres one, the replica, for example, it has like a thing
that's
here.
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's very useful to keep track of the versions that we are using.
Mhm.
And like it's very boring to update that. So it does that automatically for you.
Perfect.
We have let me see. Terraform TF docs. Oh, I think it's TF docs instead of Terraform docs. TF docs. Maybe I don't have that installed. Let's see if the GitHub action will do that automatically. So let's push that. And let's raise a pull request for that.
Yay.
Let's go to not flight deck, OpenSearch.
Mhm.
Terraform, it's not that module. It should be Terraform AWS databases.
Mhm.
Or is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it's
the
the
first
database.
pair that we have.
Yeah, okay. All right, so if we create a pull request for that, let me
Okay.
zoom out a little bit. Let's preview. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean
Okay,
everything.
so it's just copying the things from there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that you could do is like if you are working, like if you have a change working on a branch and that's not on your local, you don't have to like clone the proposed, like if, let's say I have those changes
Mhm.
on my, but I'm not yet sure if they work correctly.
Mhm.
But I want to use them still. I want to test them.
Mhm.
You could have those changes. You could reference the branch on the
Mm.
source instead of the tag, so it's useful.
Oh,
And
okay.
if you want to reference like something very specific, a very specific version, you could also reference the commit
Whoa.
instead of the. Okay, so it failed because we didn't create a
Workflow.
workflow, a GitHub workflow for OpenSearch. So let's do that.
Oh, I remember something similar for another client that we have.
Yeah, we did that for another client because when you have like multiple GitHub actions for each one of the
Mhm.
modules that you're applying, you can very easily miss creating the GitHub action for
Mhm.
that. So we have a Terraform missing GitHub action that will.
Okay. So instead of running like one large GitHub action that runs into all of them, we have individual GitHub actions that
Yes.
work for each module.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is very good.
Yep.
Because it only looks for changes on that particular module. And since Terraform runs against a specific folder, then it doesn't like it makes sense to run that on just that folder.
Mm-hmm. I think it's without a dash, or it's open.
Oh,
source.
it's yeah.
Yeah, I
exactly.
think it's just together. I think someone's mentioned that there's some echo on your side, so not sure if you have unmuted something else. I mean, for me, sounds correct, but I don't know.
Is there you don't hear an echo? I don't hear an echo too.
No.
But like I'm hearing myself because I have a return here, but it should be only for my audio, so I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't hear any. I'm gonna check on the streaming, but
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
yep.
OpenSearch. All right. So let me add that to our commit. I'll just add that change to the comment that we created. Create OpenSearch. So I don't know if the Terraform docs GitHub action will handle the documentation for us, but I think it will.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see the Terraform. Terraform format. It should run Terraform docs, but I think it Terraform docs. I think it probably it failed again.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Open source.
Oh, Terraform format check. The format check failed, so I'll just run Terraform
Locally.
me do Terraform format. Okay. Oh wait, I ran Terraform format against the wrong the wrong repo. I have two terminals open. Hold on.
Okay. Of course.
Terraform format. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And it's still failing Terraform missing. It's missing GitHub
It's still
workflows.
missing? Opens. Oh yeah, I think we used like a dash. I think the name of the file is
Oh yeah.
We changed the name, but not the name of the file. Okay.
That
That should
happens.
be enough.
Some.
Let's see if it's now.
It's running. Lovely.
So what is doing? Let's. I think you mentioned we saw the GitHub action briefly at the beginning, but what is happening right now?
This is. Oops! It failed again. Missing version. Okay, it failed because. So, what is it doing? First, it sets up Terraform so that we can run Terraform on the GitHub action.
Okay.
It sets up Node so we can run some GitHub things on the GitHub actions. Then it checks for the format, which was the one that failed previously. It runs Terraform lint, which checks for some rules that we have. So, for example, it failed because it's missing a version constraint for the AWS providers. So we have to configure a version for that for AWS. And this is to tell you that this module requires you to be running, for example, AWS v5.
Okay. We don't have that.
And then we have like a variable that's declared but not used, and then we have a local variable that is, it's not a local variable, but it's a local that is declared but not used. So let's pick that. So first, let's look at the. So we have we can take the versions file from the from another. Yes. Okay. So this requires that version, and this says that we're using AWS 5.0 here.
Okay.
Versions. Yeah. Okay. And then the other things were that we had CloudWatch log groups variable, which is declared but not used. Okay, we're not using this. So...
And the other one, yeah.
And then the other one is local.name is declared but not used. So this is probably on main.tf. Locals name.
That
Yeah,
one.
we're not using that, so let's take it back.
Good.
Right. I'll just run Terraform init and Terraform plan locally here to make sure it's not having any issues, and I'll also push that in the meantime. Right.
Mm-hmm. See. Okay, it's still running.
We're just pretending that we got everything right in the same
The first comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when GitHub started to for push shaming people, because in the past you didn't have that message when you first pushed. It just changed
This.
the you just the SHA only changed, but you didn't have any message, and now you have a message. So I don't know how to feel about
Yeah.
that. I mean,
I don't care. I think it's useful because maybe you will do a force push and forget. Then you
well,
can like, if oh my god, I did something wrong here, I can copy the old
yeah, that's a good
hash
point.
and
Yeah, but don't force push to main or any other. It's fine if you're doing it on your own branch that no one has used, but
yeah.
okay. So
So
still,
it's doing the lint again, which will tell us like if we are doing anything wrong with the
okay.
Like misusing variables or missing versions or anything like that. Then I have to I can just like my screen is on top of the other here. Let me.
Yep.
Okay. So it sets up Node to do a checkout here. I can't remember. I think this is used for the node is used for the node that we are using. It's used for Terraform docs.
Yeah, I mean we can take a look at the flow. I mean we don't have to, but yeah, pretty much anyone can take a look at the workflow and see what it's doing exactly. Yeah, but it's probably the let's go.
Yeah, we have another. We probably.
Yeah, because I see no, but I don't see when it's the.
Yeah, I think we're not using it actually.
Oh, isn't it on
It's
this one? Yeah, on this line. Let me move to my on this, and this might require nodes.
yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, because I don't know the others. Okay.
Yeah, and then for this one we need to upgrade the docs. I think that's done once we push. Let me see.
Okay, so we have around 5 minutes before we wrap up this session. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna see next week? I think I mean I'm not gonna be here. It's gonna be Mateus,
Right.
another senior developer. So
Yeah.
if you can give us a sneak peek about what we're gonna do next week.
Yeah, next week we have another live stream, AI live stream, which will be doing, I don't know what we will be doing. I think Chad is going to work with Daniel. I don't know what they are going to work on.
That's on
they are
Thursday,
doing some.
right? Or
yeah, that's Thursday. Yesterday they were exploring DeepSeek.
Mhm.
And then I think next week they're probably going to continue working on that, and they have a project to work on.
Mhm. And for
On
this one,
the
mhm.
Yeah, on the infrastructure live streams, we have plans to continue doing them. So if there's anything that you would like to see here, please add on the chat or in the comments. Let me remove my screen. It failed again, but it's we'll see what's it's
Oh,
still missing the thing there, but we'll look into that later
yep,
offline.
that ones were done.
Oops,
So
I
okay,
removed you. Okay.
so next week we're gonna continue exploring Terraform. This was very useful. I have never worked with this, and I mean, I think what we did was simple enough, but definitely. Is there any resource or material for people who want to continue learning Terraform?
Um, I think pretty much. I haven't looked into newly created Terraform content. I did a course online, which was I forgot the name of the platform, but I can leave that on the description later.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I can look into resources for whoever wants to start this year. Maybe there is new content available that's great to take a
Okay,
look at.
perfect. Any last piece of advice that you want to share with people who wants to start with platform Terraform?
I don't have any last piece of advice actually.
Okay, perfect. So
I think stay tuned and continue checking our live streams to learn.
yeah, so it's
And if you have any questions, feel free to send us on the comments or to reach out to Thoughtbot.
okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Carissa, for hosting this first session, and we'll see you next week, if I recall correctly.
See you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.